Hey, what's up everyone? Foxhounder N313 here. And I meant to get this video up yesterday, but unfortunately I had some video editing software issues, so hopefully it goes better today. So this is a rumor, take it with a grain of salt. This company, Beanox, tweeted out a photo of, I guess it was their staff wearing Call of Duty shirts, or they were just tweeting about Call of Duty in general, which has led to speculation that they may be handling the Switch port of Call of Duty World War II. Now, a Switch version of the game has not been confirmed yet. If it is announced, I assume it will be done at E3. And this company, Beanox, they were responsible for the last generation port of Call of Duty Black Ops 3, which was the last Call of Duty game to appear on last generation consoles. It was a somewhat watered down version because it didn't have the single player campaign, but I assume that was done under the orders of Activision, and they just wanted to get by with as little as they possibly could because, you know, the last generation consoles at that point were pretty much dead. This company is also responsible for some of the Skylanders games. I don't know if they make Skylanders or if they handled some ports of those games, but I'm guessing they're a company that's owned by Activision, or it's an internal development company. Now, if this turns out to be true, it wouldn't be the first time something like this has happened. If we go back to the last generation for Nintendo, for Nintendo, that version of Call of Duty Ghosts, the Wii U version of Call of Duty Ghosts, was ported over by Treyarch. It was developed by Infinity Ward, but it was ported by Treyarch, so this could be a similar situation to that. And people talk about the power divide between the Switch and the PS4 and Xbox One, and saying that's why the Switch won't get great Western third-party support. But if we go back to 2 generations ago for Nintendo, the Wii got pretty much every Call of Duty that came out except for Modern Warfare 2. They were obviously watered down in terms of their graphics and their visuals because they had to be, but they still got the same core experience for the most part. I think maybe like World at War didn't have zombie mode, or this game didn't have a certain map, or that game didn't have a certain map, but overall they got the same experience. If they could make it work on the Wii, they could definitely make it work on the Switch. And going by the looks of World War II with the first trailer that we got, it looks to me like it's running on the same engine as Advanced Warfare. And I say Advanced Warfare because that's the last Call of Duty game I played. And that game, as well as Black Ops 3, were on, again, last generation consoles. So that engine, if it is in fact the same engine, is scalable. That engine itself may or may not be an upgraded version of the Modern Warfare engine. I don't know, I don't really keep up with these things. I do know Advanced Warfare looks considerably better than the Modern Warfare games and the last generation Call of Duty games in general. But see, that's the thing about most of these big third-party games. A lot of them run on the exact same engines they did last generation, they're just upgraded. And Call of Duty World War II, while it's not going to take any awards for being the best looking game ever, it definitely is a very next-gen looking game, or I guess the current-gen looking game, if you will. If they can make that game work on the Switch, then I don't think there's much of an excuse for any other third party to not bring their games over to the Switch. It's just going to be a matter of whether or not they think they can make money off the system. And that's the big thing. It's not, I don't mean to repeat myself, but it's not up to the game developers to decide which platforms their game gets released on, at least if they work for a big third-party publisher. It's not up to Sledgehammer to decide whether or not the game comes to the Switch. Call of Duty is Activision's IP. If Activision thinks that they can make money by bringing the game to the Switch, they'll bring it to the Switch. It's as simple as that. Whether or not they do, we'll have to wait and see. Again, I think E3 will be the proving ground, if you will, for Western third-party support. If the Switch is going to have it, that's where we're going to see it. There are a lot of third-party games getting announced right now, and they're not getting announced for the Switch, and that can be somewhat disheartening if you're a Switch owner and you want these games to come to the system. But wait till E3 before you completely count it out. And speaking of E3, I'll be back later this week to give my predictions on Nintendo's E3. We now know their plans and what they're planning on talking about, or sticking to, I guess you could say. So I can give some decent predictions, I think. Anyway, let me know in the comments below if you think Call of Duty World War II is coming to the Switch, and if it is, are you planning on picking it up? I'm definitely interested. There aren't really any FPS games on the Switch. The only one we know about that's coming is Payday 2. So this would definitely be a nice addition to the Switch lineup if it is in fact coming. Anyway, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to us if you haven't already, and stay tuned for more gaming news and discussions here on Dorks Like Us. This is Fox Sounder signing off. God bless.